I'm this normal person living a crazy life. I would say for me, the biggest break of my career was hands down Tommy Hilfiger when I was 25 years old. After that moment, I started working with like Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, Jen Lawrence moments were game changers for me.
Tell us something about the show that we don't know.
It was the mean girl of mean girl situation.
I feel like you're talking about someone in particular.
I think I sometimes wish I had the ability to like fake it a little more.
How did Kris Jenner have 6 kids?
How did have you met Kris Jenner?
Well, yeah, I've met her and like on the show.
But like
I think I know her, but I don't.
If you meet Kris, I've been fortunate to know her for many, many years. Before all the kids were everyone knows today. She's always been this amazing. I mean, Kris is a force of nature. I mean, I don't even know what she's a force of, but she is. Forget how many children she has, you guys. She has like 20 grandchildren, like, and multiple businesses. Like Kris Jenner is someone that, she's, we use the term like she's a queen. She's a queen. She is like the queen.
I feel like you and her have something in common where you make everything look effortless.
That is very, very, very
No,
sweet.
you both do that. Like, I feel like you make the work and the family life just effortless.
Listen, I don't think any of this is easy for any of us, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's this, I've spoken recently about this ability to compartmentalize when you need to. And I think if you don't, I don't think I realized it about myself until maybe like this year. I've probably always had it, but I don't think I ever paid attention to it. I think when you're someone that has to do a lot of things or does a lot of things and has to do those things at 100 or 1,000% all the time, you have to be able to segment them. You have to be able to. Otherwise, if something goes wrong in one of those areas, it completely polarizes all areas, right? So you have to be able to shut off different things at a time, I think. And I think Kris would probably say that she does that a lot. I mean, she's running multiple empires with multiple children plus multiple grandchildren. And by the way, she's one of the greatest friends to her friends. She is a girl's girl. She is a girlfriend. And her friends, she's had like her birthday posts are the funniest thing. I think Kris must post a birthday post for someone every other day.
That is true. That's so funny. It's so funny because in the Kardashian show, Kim was saying exactly what you just said, where she says she like Mission Impossibles. You know what I'm talking about? Where she's like, I swipe. And that's like what you're saying.
Yeah.
You swipe. You just deal with each thing one at a time.
You know what's crazy is I like read all this history and Napoleon Bonaparte. I know this is weird.
There we go.
It's a weird direction.
We're talking about Kris Jenner, Michael.
I love it.
It's a weird direction to take it, I'm going to tell you. But he would describe like all the things he was doing. He said he was able to close drawers in his head. Like he would pull things out and be able to deal with that and then shut a drawer, and it was compartmentalizing. But I was reading it and I was like, all these high performers have this thing in common where they're able to like isolate issues and like shut them off in their mind and then take them out later.
Interesting. That's actually really fascinating. Because I do feel like that sometimes. Like not that I would compare myself to that, but I think but there is this thing where you have to do that or you cannot go to the next thing in a high functioning way.
Have you always been a high performer? Like when you look back when you're really little, how so?
I think that my parents would say yes, although they would follow that with saying, if it was something she wasn't interested in, there is a complete shutdown. Like it is, and I think if you ask my team, they would say the worst thing they could do is force me to do something that I don't want to do or don't believe in because I can't get myself there. And I think that I say that because I think that I am, for better or worse, who I am, right? And I can't really change that. And I think I sometimes wish I had the ability to like fake it a little more. And I don't mean in a way like I wouldn't be nice to this person or whatever. I just mean like even just when I was very young, if there was something in school that I wasn't interested in, it was like my brain quite literally just shut down. Like I used to compare it to like an electric blind. It just like went like this. Like that blind just came down. Like if I started looking at like algebra, there was a complete blackout. It was like, nope, I'm terrible at this and therefore I'm not going to try to get better at it. So, but if I was interested in something, it was straight A's all the way. And I gave it 10,000%, which is how I knew I couldn't do something in my life that I wasn't interested in.
What was your first big break with what you were doing?
It's funny. I get asked that a lot, and I think that I would say there was many along the way, right? Like I would say there's different pivotal moments that sort of changed the trajectory of what was coming next, right? So if I think about it, like from a public perspective, it was probably when this writer for Women's Wear Daily wrote this huge article about my career, and I think I might have been 25 years old.
What year was this?
I really don't know. It was like, I just know I was living in my West Village apartment. It was a good 20 plus years ago.
So this is like, it really mattered to get those write-ups back then.
Oh yeah, this was like, there was no such thing as a digital anything.
What did the write-up say?
It was on the cover of Women's Wear Daily, and it said the education of Rachel, at the time, Rosenzweig, which is my maiden last name. Zoe is my birth-given middle name. And I remember looking at it in polarized fear. Like I woke up at like 6 a.m. I was like, what happened? Like I don't remember if I was interviewed about it or if she just wrote it like on her own, because they did that a lot. Like it was sort of you participate or we're writing it anyway. So like it's like you pick like, do I want to contribute to this or not? And I've done both. And when I have, sometimes they twist your words, and when you don't, now you obviously like record everything and like whatever, but it was different then. And, but I would say in terms of styling, there were many moments, and I would say for me, the biggest break of my career was hands down Tommy Hilfiger when I was 25 years old. I had been working with his brother, Andy, who worked with like J-Lo and did these like denim lines. And I would go in and pull clothes for different shoots. And I guess Andy had told Tommy about me as a stylist. And I was just up and coming, and I had just gone freelance, and I had one job, but I had worked with like Britney Spears, and I was starting to work a little with different musicians. And Tommy called me into his office. I was terrified. And he was like, I want to hire you for my next campaign. And I looked at him like, what? Like it was like a total head tilt. Like, what are you talking? I was the most insecure, like 25, like my whole life could end if I make the wrong decision. And he said, I have a huge campaign. I'm doing a week in Austin, Texas with the hottest young actors in the industry, like 10 of them. And then you're going to go from there to Los Angeles, and you're going to style all the biggest male and female supermodels, like 20 of them, like everyone from like, you can't even imagine, right? And I literally looked at him cross-eyed. I didn't even have an assistant at that time. Like I was like, what are you talking about? And he looked at me, and I said, I literally was like, why? And he's like, because I know you can do it. I think you're really talented. I've seen what you've done. And I was like, what? And I had a full I left his office like in a full panic attack. Like I remember thinking I might die that night because my heart was like coming out of my body. And I did it. And I took an assistant I barely knew. I had like 50 racks of clothes with me in every shape and size, because it was boys and girls and men and women and actors. So actors are not all, at the time, every female model was like, the size across the board, right? At the time. But I was working with actors too, and everyone had different styles and different tastes. You guys, it was the scariest 2 weeks of my entire life. And it was the hugest, most expensive, elaborate production. He like recreated the White House in the Griffith Observatory. So he gave me my very first break. And after that moment, I started working with like Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, Enrique Iglesias. And I worked with them for years and years and years and years. And then I moved to LA and shifted from music to red carpet.
What do you do if one of them wants to wear something that you don't like?
One of like a pop star, like in general, a celebrity. Yeah. If they want to wear something I don't like, I don't bring anything I don't like.
You don't
I don't bring anything I don't like.
Okay, what if
like if I hate it, I won't pull it, but I will if it doesn't look right. They will look at me. Like my clients would always be like, "You hate it." I'm like, "No, not at all." And they're like, "What do you want me to wear?" And then we'd go through the list of like, well, and then I'd break it down, but never anything I hated, because I would always know that would be the one that would get chosen.
When did you get into the Paris and Nikki days? Because those were like iconic days, I feel like.
Paris and Nicole days. I mean, that was 2000 and like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And
Misha,
do you
Nicole,
remember
Lindsay.
where you heard about them and like where you were?
Well, yeah, I remember the day I met Nicole Richie. It was because I was working with her dad. I was styling Lionel, and I was very close with him. He's one of my very most favorite people. And I mean, how many Lionel Richie songs I made out with boys to is next level.
I love Lionel Richie.
I mean, are you kidding?
I like Lionel Richie.
Every time I hear a Lionel Richie song, I'm like, yeah, that was Paul. That was, and you literally go down the, yeah. And, but anyway, so I was working with Lionel, and he basically said to me, I need to ask you a favor. And he's like, can you help me? Can you help my daughter? We're doing Oprah together. And it's like, I really just, if you could help dress her for that, that would be great. And I was like, of course. And at the time, she was doing Simple Life with Paris. Nicole and I put her in this white kind of like cap sleeve, very fitted, like with a sort of very fitted waist and a pencil skirt kind of skirt suit. And after that, she basically called me and was like, I've never gotten so many compliments. I've never whatever. Now I need you to dress me for everything. And like from that point on, she became my sister. And we literally did something every day. And then, Lindsay was right around then, Misha Barton. And then, but also simultaneously, totally different than that was like, I was also working with Keira Knightley and Salma Hayek and Eva Mendes and Cameron Diaz and Kate Hudson and Jen Garner all at the same time. So there was like, these young, amazing girls. And then there was also very talented, amazing, I guess, women. I don't know, both.
Were there other stylists like you at the time? Because I don't remember any.
I don't know because the stylists for the most part were really mean to me when I moved here.
Of course
they were really, it was the mean girl of mean girl situation.
You're so not a mean girl either.
I'm not a mean girl.
No, you're warm.
No, I am the polar opposite. In fact, I don't in fact know how to be a mean girl. I really don't.
It's easier to be nice.
That said, when someone is a scathing, disgusting, deceitful, lying, horrible person,
I feel like you're talking about someone in particular.
Oh, there's a top 10, but I think in those moments, I do have like kind of these mental deaths for people. So there's a line there, but I would say other than that, like I definitely am the opposite of a mean girl because I was mean girled my whole life, and so I'm very sensitive about women, and I think part of the reason girls are mean is because there's always been very limited space for women. And there's this fierce competition that if you're not the prettiest, the richest, the this, the that, the skinniest, the best dressed, the most, whatever those things are. But I think now, hopefully, we're trying very hard to open more seats at every table across the board that will hopefully make women less petty and root for each other rather than compete with each other.
So you got shit even when you were
kindergarten and up.
What do you think was the cause of that?
I think I was too nice.
I think it's the way you look.
I think that, listen, I think guys were always nice to me, girls were not.
Wow, so that's a shocker.
So I think that also made it harder. But I will say this, I always had 2 girlfriends, right? So through my whole school life, there was 2 girls that I could say, like, these are my people.
The same ones, or you?
No.
You just would have to?
Yes, throughout my, like, school life, yes. Mm-hmm. And then college, same. I had, like, 2 or 3 besties. And it wasn't until the last, like, honestly, 10 years that I think I have hundreds of friends. Like, I've amassed a lot of friends over my career. Like, I have lifelong friends that I can go, and even in the fashion industry that became life friends, right? Where, like, I cannot see them for 9 months, and then I see them in summer, and we will hang out every day as if nothing has changed and no time has passed. And I have a lot of people in my life like that because I think people with busy lives have a mutual respect for each other and grace for each other that, like, we're not talking every day. I'm not even calling you every 2 weeks, but, like, you're my person and that. So I need people like that in my life. But I would say pretty recently in COVID, I realized that I needed some new friends. Just because, I think there's like a cleansing process that occurs over different points in your life. And I I literally have the greatest friends. Like, I don't even know what else to say. I'm the luckiest person. I have the best girlfriends.
How do you manage to stay so down to earth in the city? Because it's not easy.
In this city?
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm from New York.
Okay, so you think that helps. But you're here, right?
I'm here.
Yeah,
but I've been here 20 years.
Yeah,
I've been
you're
here
in
20
the
years.
city.
This is what I would say. I would say that I've always been, work has been my priority, and then shifted from work to my kids, and now my life is my work and my kids. And I would say that I had to learn early on, and maybe this is when I started to compartmentalize, that you can't let people take you down that don't know you, and you can't let things, at the end of the day, I know this is going to sound so weird because every time I say it, my team even laughs at me. I'm this normal person living a crazy life. And I don't even know what normal is. But I can say that, like, I have always been seemingly very normal in the industries that I've grown up in and chosen to work in, because they're frenetic, they are volatile, and they are insane. And there is more pettiness in fashion and entertainment than probably any other business. I'm not really sure. But I think across the board, whether you're a hairstylist, you're a makeup artist, the stories that the things that I have lived through, the things that I've experienced, the things that I've witnessed with other people, and the way, like, an agent who has like 20 of the best clients in the world, that their assistant just walked out and took them all with them. Like, you have to almost just be like, you know what? Nothing's going to shock me. I'm not letting that take me down. I'm not going to let that ruin how I look at people, because I think staying grounded is sort of the only thing you have in this life. If you do not keep your humility, you turn into an actual monster. And I just am never going to be that person. I don't like people like that. I'm immediately deterred by people like that. I'm very put off by people like that.
So what do you do if you're styling someone and they're acting like a monster? You just won't work with them?
I won't work with them. I fired in my career 4 people.
It doesn't sound strange when you say it. I think a lot of these people that you're alluding to, you could start to build this narrative when you start reading press clippings and thinking that that's the real thing, as opposed to just like being who you actually are.
Yes.
And you get these people that start to think that they're maybe breathing rarer air or of a different breed. I mean, doing this show for as long as we've done it, you see all kinds.
Yeah, of course.
And I always look at those situations like, wow, this person is really lacking self-awareness when they come in like that. It's like they're just disconnected from what's actually
100%.
happening.
And I know quite a lot of people like that just walk into a room, cannot read it at all. And it's hard to watch sometimes, like, truthfully. And I really think that in this industry, in order to survive, you have to be able to read that room. And you also have to know when to leave that room.
Yes.
Well, I also think that you can't read a room when you have no one around you that's telling you the truth.
Yeah. But hopefully you have it. Hopefully you can read that. You have to feed off your energy, right? Like, your energy is what serves you. And I know for me, and I am definitely not woo-woo, I would say, but I am definitely someone who senses an energy about somebody, and I pretty much can, and it might be by experience. It might be by trial and error at this point, because I don't know that I saw the red flags as clearly as I can see it now. And I think you have to know, I'm not saying you have to like be mean to anyone, but you have to kind of know safe distance, right?
Yeah, I think that's like not even just for some of the people I think that's for anything.
No,
right?
it's for anything.
Like I
personal
think,
life, professional.
Yeah, people really get in a lot of trouble when they can't read the room and aren't self-aware, and they're like going through life missing so much of what's actually going on around them. It's interesting to like watch those wheels start to kind of, because you just like somebody's just like going down this path that's like an absolute disaster from everybody else around them, but they just can't see it.
Yeah.
Who's been your most favorite client that you love, like friend, but also they just get it when it comes to taste?
It's hard to pick a favorite, but I would say I had some incredible moments with Kate Hudson. We had a lot of fun. She's very much like my style soulmate. Like, if I had 100 dresses in there and I had my 2 favorites, she would be like, she would like go right to it. She would, without saying like, what's your favorite, you know? So I'd say like style-wise, style-wise, we are probably the most connected. But I've had some, Jen Lawrence moments, like Anne Hathaway moments, Keira Knightley moments that really were game changers for me. Just in terms of what made me feel so just full. Jen Garner's one of the most magical people in the world. We're still really good friends.
She's so magical.
She just is. She's not normal.
Is she really like that?
Yeah. What you see is exactly who she is. And that's why she's such a rare bird.
5:30 for cookies for my kids.
Cookies, that's the good news. She's already made biscotti. She's made pancakes. She's already probably gotten eggs from the chicken. I mean,
what's going on with you, Lauren?
I'm not making biscottis at 5:30 a.m. for you. I'm sorry.
Biscotti would be nice.
No, I am making Belgian waffles. I'm not going to lie. I do cook
what's
for
your
my
recipe?
Kids. I mean, it's a good one.
Okay.
My son's obsessed. I mean, they're not as good as the Beverly Hills Hotel ones.
No, those are good.
Those are game changers.
Those are very good.
No, those are game changing.
What makes you cringe when you see someone wearing something besides my pregnancy dress?
I love your pregnancy dress. Pregnancy, I'm not joking. Oh. I mean this when I say it. There is, every time I see a pregnant woman, there is this glimmer. There is this little spark of envy that I'm like, God, I wish I was pregnant. And then it passes and I'm like, okay, I'm glad I'm not. But I would say,
be brutal.
Honestly, you want me to be brutal? I can't be brutal.
What makes you? I know you have things that make you cringe.
I was watching the Grammys the other day, and somebody wore a house on their head, and I thought that was weird.
Well, someone wore nothing too.
I can't. I can't. I just can't. I'm not even going to touch that, but I can't because I can't touch it.
Would you rather go nothing or house on your head?
House on my head.
Really?
There's no world I'm walking down a carpet with no clothes on. I mean, there's no world that I'm doing that.
You know what though? It got people talking.
You know what gets people talking? When someone doesn't wear no clothing.
That's true.
Because they talk about how good you look in that look.
That's true.
But you see, there's kind of the problem with the world is it got everyone talking. I'm like, would we always have to be talked about in this way?
I think you should be talked about in a way she shut that carpet down. She looked like, Kelsey Ballerini or Olivia Rodrigo, in a vintage Gianni Versace gown that looked absolutely perfect for the Grammys. Talk about T Swift's, ruby T on her thigh. Okay, let's talk about that. We always talk about Taylor Swift, right? There are ways to be talked about. And I think to do something that garners that much to get a rise out of people, to me, off-puts me. I would say for me, to go to your question, I would say I am immediately put off by someone that is trying too hard to get people's attention. To me, the most attractive thing is the seemingly effortlessness of how somebody looks. So even if they look extraordinary, they didn't look like it wasn't supposed to be on them. You know what I mean? Zoe Kravitz, right? Sienna Miller. I could go down the line of people that, and then you have the Nicole Kidman moments, right? That are epically perfect. But she didn't try that. She did. She sat in the hair and makeup and the whole thing. But she knew she didn't do 16 fittings to get to that. You know what I mean? And I think these are just a few examples of people that, to me, they never put me off. What puts me off is the person that wears a house on their head to garner that attention. And I just think, to me, that screams bigger things of I need you to talk about what I'm doing right now.
It's kind of like the Swan. Remember the Swan?
Bjork Swan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I'll never forget this.
Yeah, how could you forget the Swan?
Can't forget the Swan.
I'm just noticing that my husband dressed up for you differently than he normally.
I feel like this is your normal. No, what do you normally wear? A hoodie? Are you a cute hoodie guy?
No,
just a t-shirt. This is interesting. I just noticed
a hoodie guy.
I think
I just noticed this.
As I've gotten older, I don't like the idea of being a cute hoodie guy anymore.
Okay. But you look really painfully young.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I'm I'm 38. I'm not super old, but you
don't even have a 4.
But I don't know.
True.
I don't.
You still deserve to wear a hoodie if you feel like wearing a hoodie.
I'm not trying to be 20 though.
Let me tell you something.
Can I tell you? I know 60-year-old men that only wear hoodies at this point.
Not Michael. Michael's very stylish.
Listen, I am living for this.
But I could not imagine being a 6-year-old guy trying to pretend I'm not a 6-year-old.
See, I know so many of
I like
those.
to be in my era of my age. Right?
Can I say something though?
Mm-hmm. Yes, please do.
When I see a guy, don't think I didn't notice the look, by the way.
Thank you.
I think he was waiting for you to acknowledge it.
I didn't know if this was his daily norm.
No, it's pretty norm lately. Yeah.
I mean, it looks Tom Fordy. It looks. Are we in Tom Ford?
Yeah. What are you wearing?
It is.
Are you in Tom Ford? I knew it. I knew it by the stitching.
How do
and the
you
shirt,
know that?
Because it's flawless.
I don't we had a whole company meeting today. We had a whole thing going on. I don't want to be like in a hoodie and a sweatshirt. I like being classic, you know? Like I used to push it further when I was younger. Now I just think like classic.
Yeah.
The classic. I can't go wrong. Like and I'm not trying to like upstage. You know, my wife's it's weird. Like what if I'm sitting here
she's
like
got
the
eyes, so
what
you
if
can't
I was
upstage the eyes.
What if I wore like a house on my head and like a weird
Let
hoodie?
me tell you something about him though. He has such good style to the point where he Kanye'd my closet. He came in and was like, no.
Is that a term you can say?
Everything.
Listen,
well, she had a lot of junk that
I don't
needed
think
to
we
go.
can say anything anymore about anyone or anything.
I'm over it, though. I'm
People
just going
keep
to say
telling me that. People keep saying
I think
that.
it's going to swing the other way. I think we'll be able to go back to saying certain things again. I'm not sure what they are, and I'm too scared to say anything.
I've been saying these things the whole 9 years, and people keep saying it once. We're going to be able to. I would just be like, we've just been here saying things, you know?
Listen, I do want to say that when I see a guy, an absolute stranger in an absolutely random place, and he has a good outfit on, I will 1,000% tell him that he looks great. Because a guy that puts in the effort, to me, is worth 10x what it is when a woman puts in the effort. I know that that's a weird thing to say, but guys just don't give a F. Am I allowed to curse?
No, yeah.
Guys don't give a fuck. They don't. They just want to wear the same pants in 8 different colors and 8 different things. They order it online and they're like, this fits me. I want it in every fabric. And by the way, you may do that.
He does not do that. He has a tailor. He has.
I love that about
but
you.
He's a fourth Japanese.
These guys are
We're
like, listen,
connected.
I need to get rid of.
Yeah.
No, they say these dumb things like, I need to get rid of decision fatigue, so I wear a black shirt every day, all day. And I'm like,
yeah.
Is that such a hard fucking decision to like just put a shirt and a jacket on? Like, how many decisions are you making? I mean, it took me honestly 3 seconds to just make a decision to wear this. It wasn't that hard. I don't need to stare at a closet.
That's not true because you picked it out for Rachel's podcast.
Yeah, but it was easy to pick out is what I'm saying.
That you had to take from Austin, so let's...
You know where they get in trouble is when you have too many variations of like really loud things. But if you just have like the classics, it's hard to...
It's the uniform concept.
Yeah, it's easy.
So,
okay, end the show because now Rachel said that I had effort and it's good. And
so when you get dressed, how do you think about it?
Me? Yeah. I don't.
You don't think about it?
I didn't know what I was wearing 15 minutes before I got here.
How do you do that? It's just natural.
It's just how I breathe. It's like how a doctor would look at something and know how to treat it. I don't think about it.
So what do you look what flatters you like already?
I do what I know. Like I have maybe like 50 pairs of black tux pants in different fabrics and different weights and different whatever. And that's my go-to, like how it would be someone else's like leggings or skinny jeans or whatever it is. But for me, like black tux pants are my uniform, right? So they're like a flare and some are high-waisted, some are low-waisted, they're different weights and whatever. But then I have 1,000 shirts that I'll just throw on with some jacket. That's my uniform.
What's the brand of the tuck pants?
Mine, Rachel Zoe.
I need to get some.
I mean, they're from like my last collections.
In
but
like 10 months.
There's also like Tom Ford's, there's, a couple different brands in there, Beaumont, but they're all the same kind of vibe, right? Because that's my go-to. It's like it's my go-to.
Would you ever be caught dead in leggings?
No.
Never?
No.
What do you do to work out? Do you work out?
No.
Never?
Sometimes, rarely.
Because
it's new.
You're so busy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I'd have to get up at 4,
my God.
But I would say this. I recently purchased a treadmill.
Okay.
Once I knew we couldn't walk outside because that was my exercise, that like I would go with my boys on a walk and we'd walk like a mile. I don't know. Maybe I clocked it. Maybe it was 1.5 miles, like around our area.
Couldn't walk outside because of the fires recently?
Yeah, because now the air quality.
Yeah.
So I got a treadmill. I've used it twice. When I have moments of, oh my God, Rachel, get it together, start doing Tracy Anderson, I will literally text Tracy and be like, I need to start tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, I'm in my room working out with this amazing person. And I'm like, I need the 30-minute version of Tracy Anderson. There is no world I'm doing 2 hours and sweating with other people. It's not happening. That will never happen for me.
30 minutes is good,
I dream about it.
30 minutes is good.
30 minutes, I feel like that is my absolute maximum that I am ever exercising.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed online, whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand. Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content it to time, all in one place, all on your own terms. If you do not own your own online presence, whether it be through a website or a newsletter or something that is actually yours, regardless of a third party like a social platform, you have a vulnerability. Lauren and I, since the beginning of this show and since the beginning of time when we started creating content on these digital channels, we have always owned our own channels, our own blogs, our own newsletters, our own e-com websites, and that is because we know we're constantly at the mercy of these third-party platforms. We use different social platforms to market our products and our services and our content, but we actually don't own those, just like everybody else. The things that we do own are our websites, our email lists, and our e-com stores, and you can too. Long gone are the days of having to hire 18 different people to build your own website or newsletter. You can do it all in one place cost-effectively on the Squarespace platform. So like I said, whether you're looking to sell content, write content, own an audience, own a customer, sell to a customer, Squarespace can help you do all of it. And again, you own it and it's yours, not at the mercy of third-party platforms. So don't wait any longer. Take ownership of your own online footprint. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, squarespace.com/skinny to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Again, that's squarespace.com/skinny. When Lauren and I think about taking supplements and we think about what we should add to our health routines, we're always going for the most punch, the biggest bang for your buck, which is why Lauren and I love Armor Colostrum so much. We have had the founder of Armor Colostrum on this podcast talking all about the incredible benefits of their product. What if I told you that you can strengthen your immune system, fortify your gut health, ignite your metabolism, vitalize hair growth, enhance skin radiance, and fuel performance and recovery, all with one single serving of Armor? Well, you can, and this is why Lauren and I love this product so much. We take it every single morning. It comes in these big containers that you can either scoop directly into your mouth or into a beverage of your choice. Our kids take it. We sometimes give it to our dogs. We both take it. You can travel with it. And it's just become part of our daily health routine. We live in an environment our biology was never designed for. EMFs, artificial light, seed oils, microplastics, endocrine disruptors, chronic stresses. These modern assaults disrupt cellular signaling negatively, which impacts our gut health, accelerated aging, all of these things. This is why Armor Colostrum is so essential. It revives your cellular signaling, bolstering our health from within to defend against everyday threats. And colostrum is nature's first whole food with over 400 bioactive nutrients that work at the cellular level to reactivate your body's innate capacity to regenerate and thrive. So if you're ready to reclaim your health, check out Armor Colostrum. We've worked out a special offer for our audience. Receive 15% off your first order. Go to tryarmor.com/skinny or enter skinny to get 15% off your first order. That's tryarmra.com/skinny.
One thing that I do at least 4 to 5 days a week is I weight lift. I love weight training. I'm very passionate about it, but I was noticing the more pregnant I got, the more uncomfortable my shoes were. So that's when I found Noble. They have this shoe. It's called the All Day. And this is a shoe that is absolutely amazing for someone who is on the go. So if you're training or you're working out and then you have to drop your kids off at school and run errands, or you're traveling, the All Day shoe is for everyday life. I personally love a tennis shoe in white. There's just something about it that's so crisp and fresh for me. That's the one I got. If you're unfamiliar with Noble, they're a footwear brand for training and for daily life. So everything is built to support you in your pursuit of mental, physical, and emotional strength. But what I like about this brand right now, because I'm rolling around like a ball, is that it's comfortable. I need comfort to weightlift and then to go pick my kids up. I need to be very versatile. Noble is known for their best-in-class, award-winning footwear. With options across training and lifestyle, Noble has options for everyone. Definitely go check out their stuff. They also have like a specific training shoe. I have just found the All Day works for me. I think you guys will like it. Pregnant or not. Exclusively for him and her listeners, Noble is offering 30% off your order. Visit nobleproject.com/TSC. You get 30% off your entire order. That's www.nobleproject.com/TSC for 30% off.
What's a day in the life?
Chaos. There's just, I mean, it depends because every day is different. There's no day that's the same ever in my whole life. Like I've never had the same day ever.
Well,
it
give
just
us
doesn't happen.
like examples of days that maybe are similar.
Okay. Let's see. So, I'm like single now. So I'm a single mom.
Love it.
And so I'm living with my favorite people, my children.
Love it.
And we, there is no, I haven't had a nanny since the kids were, I think it's now 7, probably 6 years now. But I have an assistant. So she helps drive and babysit and all the stuff. But So up, wake children. Breakfast, I make breakfast. Belgian waffles, pancakes, protein, eggs, whole thing. The kids like a real breakfast. There's no like, here's a granola bar and get in the car. There isn't that. They eat. And they might eat like 16 times a day. I feel like a short order cook on most days. And then basically then get them to school. And I drive one, my soon-to-be ex drives another. And we basically then it's to the races. Then it's like shower, dress, podcast, meetings, 1,000,001 Zooms or an offsite something, a shoot or whatever. And then I'm literally pretty much working until the kids get home. And then I basically try to, when they get home, like call it 4, depending on if they have after schools, 5, then I'm mom. And if I have something that is, it's timely, then I'll go do it in my office while they're doing homework or whatever. But I try to always 100% mom when they're home. And they're at an age which is so great that I can say like, mommy has to go out tonight for X. I'll be home, tuck you in. Or so it's basically like a work kid juggle on and off until they go to sleep, which very unfortunately since the New Year's, because they've been so off with the fires and moving around, they've been going to bed at 11. So my alone times has been starting for the last like 6 weeks at like 11 p.m. So I've been going to sleep and I need that alone time. Like I hold it, I need it. And I'll go to bed at like, this morning was at 2. And I'm not proud of that. I do not recommend this at all. I am a weirdly, what do they call it? High functioning on very little sleep kind of person. And I don't recommend it. I'm sure it is terrible for you on every level.
So can you get by in like 6 hours and feel good? 6
hours would be like 12. Yes. 6 hours to me is like the most beautiful night's sleep ever. I do not understand this wave of women and men that are literally getting in bed and going to sleep at like 9.
I go to bed at 8.
You are pregnant. When you're not pregnant, do you do that? For real?
Unless I'm going out.
Right. But you actually can fall. That would be like
tricks.
A disco nap for me if I did that. I would not. That is impossible on every level for me.
I wake up at 7.
You know what's interesting though? Since we moved,
that's beautiful.
To
that
Texas,
is congratulations. Are you a Libra? What sign are you?
I'm Gemini, but I to be like semi decent looking, I have to get sleep.
But see, a lot of my friends are like that. If my friends don't get 8 hours, they don't talk to a soul. They like hate everyone. Are you that?
Yeah. He wakes up, he starts talking to me about like.
Of course. It's the curse of working together.
Well,
like, what?
I have like
you have a business idea, right?
I don't have like a ramp up period. I just can like wake up, you know? Sounds similar, right? You're just ready to go when you get, yeah, that's me.
Do you do any wellness practices?
Describe wellness practices.
Like, do you sauna? Do you cold plunge? No, she doesn't do anything.
That is this cold plunge thing, guys, I need to talk about this.
You'd like it.
Let it rip.
Okay. Here's the thing. I believe that it might work because I have maybe 200 people in my life that have said everything from I've lost 50 pounds because I cold plunge to I'm a better person because I cold plunge. My cholesterol's lower because of my obviously it's working.
I think that I lost 50 pounds might be Ozempic.
There is, you think?
Yeah, and they're like, oh,
you think?
Yeah.
There is not a world in which I am getting any cold plunge because it is so shocking that I would, like literally that I don't go in oceans for that reason. So why am I going to electively get into an ice cold? I take the hottest showers to the point where I might have like burns.
Because
it feels so good.
It's like
hot shower is the most relaxing, like heavenly, like a good 15-minute burning hot shower.
But I feel like you might actually like the cold because you've got.
She's not doing it. I can tell.
You've got a personality that like seems to get a lot of energy. So.
I do, and I've never done drugs.
Ever?
Can you imagine if I did cocaine, really?
You know what? I've never done it either. And I will say to people, same thing. Like
can you imagine? Do I need something else?
I would be the worst. You think I'm chatty now? You think I'm chatty now? Oh my God.
If you did cocaine, I would just be like, let's call it.
I wonder, like, I'm like, okay, like, do you know why I always stayed away from it? Because I feel like I would fucking love it. Like, I just know, like, I like going fast. And if I got on that, I would just.
Same. I'd be addicted in the first hour.
What's a capsule collection for someone who has nowhere to start when it comes to styling? You mentioned tux pants.
I want to go back to the wellness thing. Does it count if I stay in a bathrobe all day? Like
if
my kids aren't home and I take a few hours and I can just not get out of
Which brand is
the
the
bath.
robe?
Skims
Okay.
or Barefoot Dreams.
Same with me. When you're pregnant, I look like a roly-poly. I don't give a fuck.
Babe, a
Rolling
Barefoot Dreams robe is like wrapping yourself in this cloud of like giving yourself a hug. It's a really beautiful thing. My kids have been in them since birth.
Yeah,
so.
those are the best robes. They really are, Michael.
I don't
You
have
got to
the
get
robe,
one.
but I like the blankets.
You don't have the robe?
He has the blankets.
You should have the robe.
I'm not a big robe guy.
Are you too hot? You get too hot.
I don't like.
Yeah.
It seems like more of an effort to wear robes.
Guys have an issue with heavy robes. They get really hot, and I'm always cold. So to me, it's like a
Heaven.
gift from
That's
God.
wellnessy.
Yeah, that's my wellness.
So I love it.
And skincare, like, Barbara Sturm stuff, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, your skin is beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Your skin is
very
beautiful.
Sweet. Thank you.
Like you already look amazing on Instagram, but in person,
really?
yeah.
God, you're so sweet.
In person,
It's like the nicest thing you could
the
ever
first thing
say
I
to a
noticed.
woman.
I'm a big skin person, and that's
Thank
the first thing
you.
I noticed about you.
I don't do a lot.
It's
I'll be
very
honest
pretty.
with you. I don't do a lot, but I do pound with oils and serums and skincare. So of course, I do like Botox, but like,
It looks great.
thank you.
Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Thanks.
What's the capsule collection?
Easy
Okay.
for someone who has nowhere to start.
Nowhere to start.
Okay, so the most important thing is that you know what works on you. That's the first step. Like, meaning you have to know that, like, I know that my legs look the longest when I wear a wide leg trouser, right? Like a wide leg. So some women think they look better in a skinny leg pant, right? Or a cigarette pant or a crop pant, right? Or a wide leg or a flared leg. You have to kind of identify that. Once you identify, I look the best and feel the best in this style of pant, then you stock up on those, right? In denim, in chambray, in black, in gray, in tan, in white, different variations on the same thing, right? Then you get your staple top, your tanks, your camisoles, your button-ups, your pullovers, your things that you know are comfortable, wear well, and like are go-tos. And for me, it's always been a jacket. A jacket has always been my number one priority in my wardrobe.
Which brands?
I mean, this is like a vintage Isabel Marant. I have 1,000,001 vintage like loafers and things and vests and, vintage Chanel jackets. And like, I have a collection of jackets. I have hundreds of jackets of every length, every fabric, every weight. I must have 50 black leather jackets of sorts to throw on over a tank, a tee, a blouse, a cami with pants, and you're good to go. Like a lip, brush your hair, throw it up in a messy top knot, like 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
What about accessories? Because you're wearing accessories right now.
Yeah, but I can't breathe without accessories. That's like part of the whole thing. I think about that like I would a t-shirt. Do you know what I mean? Like that's part of my whole like, I literally don't believe I've left my house without a piece of jewelry on ever in the history of my life. Like since I was 8. I started styling people when I was 7, 8 years old, but I didn't know it was styling. I just would like dress all my friends, and then I didn't like the way my family friend's son dressed. I hated that he was wearing Adidas like shorts and t-shirts every day with like the matching socks. He'd wear like blue one day, red one day. And I went over to his house when he wasn't home. He was at soccer. And I went up to his closet and I pulled out all these clothes and I laid them on the bed and I labeled them for the day of the week for 7 days. And he wore some of it.
How did you figure out how to build a business around all this? Like, did it come naturally, or was it something you had to learn?
It had to come naturally because there was no business. Like there wasn't anyone to tell me how to do anything, which is I think what made me probably work as hard as I did because it was terrifying. It was like the way I always approached my work, and I still do, it's like if you don't do this perfectly or the best of your ability, if you let down the person you're doing it for, whether that's someone paying you, it's a partner, whether it's a client, it doesn't matter. But I always went at it like, if I don't do this well, I won't work again. That was sort of what fed me in my 20s, right? And then in your 30s, you get a little more confident in like, okay, I'm pretty good at this, so like I kind of know what I'm doing. But every single job I went into, no matter how big or small, I walked into that room with my 20, 30, 40 racks of clothes, whatever it was, 30 trays of jewelry, 50 pairs of shoes, like whatever. Even if they needed 1 look or 20, it didn't matter. And I went in with this like, don't fuck this up. They're counting on you, And I think when I was making a lot of money and I the stakes were always very high. I was in charge of creating and changing and keeping people's images. And they were the most visible people in the world, in the industry. And it was sort of like the way I looked at it was like I was providing a service. And if I didn't do this right, I failed and I suck. And that was sort of like how I went into every job. And honestly, up until my very last sort of styling job, when I said I'm going to take a pause, I just remember thinking like, you got to crush this. There's no, you can't let her down. You can't let them down. They're counting on you, right? Like when someone's as someone who was pulled into the public eye, I say by accident because it wasn't my intention, but like, it's really scary being out there. Like when you see these celebrities like J-Lo and there's no one that looks more comfortable on a red carpet than J-Lo. And I think she must have done 20,000 at this point, and she looks like airbrushed by God, and she looks flawless all the time. But my point is like, it's terrifying. The entire world is judging you, right? And as someone who is like a no one, like even in those moments where I would like go out in front, it's like your whole insides just collapse of like, you're being judged. You are. And you could say like, I don't give a fuck. And some people have that luxury where they don't give a fuck. But like, it's not an easy thing. So as someone who was in control of that part of it, of what they wanted to put out there, it's terrifying. It's the same for like a makeup or hairstylist. Like, there's a lot of judgment around it, and I think thankfully people are nicer now, but in those days they were not.
Tell us something about the show that we don't know.
That there was a lot you didn't see. There was a lot you didn't see. There was a lot that I had to protect, on the show. And I was an executive producer. And
that's bossy at that time.
What'd you say?
That's bossy.
Listen, there was no world that I was doing that show without being an executive producer because I had to. That show had my name in the title. And there was no world that I could release control at the time. There wasn't really any reality television other than I think it was The Real World was right before. And so I couldn't, people were very judgy and scared to be a part of the show. So when they agreed as my friends, like the Michael Kors or the Kate Hudsons or whoever agreed to be on the show at the time, I had to protect that. You know what I mean? And if you leave things in the hands of people, they're going to do what would get the best ratings on television. And I understand that. That's their job. But it was my job to protect photographers, the actors, the musicians, the designers. So it was a real balance of giving people what I felt they needed to learn, see, and understand about the industry and make sure that it wasn't simultaneously damaging to someone else. And that was very hard.
Was the process enjoyable or was it not?
Of doing the show?
Yeah. I feel like it's a lot of work.
It's the most work I've ever done in anything in my life.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, other than my first like 10 years of styling where I just like was awake all the time. And like flying to like Monaco for 24 hours or like, doing crazy things. Then you wake up and you're like at a dinner with Prince Albert and like Britney Spears or like, there's crazy things that happen in the job. But I would say that overall, listen, I'm so happy I did it in hindsight because so many people still to this day are binge watching it over and over.
So good.
And now my kids' friends are watching it, which is so insane to me and unfathomable because I don't watch it, obviously. And I don't even know that I watched it when it aired. It was too hard for me because it was my life. But I would say that it was incredibly exhausting because I was working like 15 jobs simultaneously. It wasn't like I don't work and my job is doing a TV show. It was like the TV show was almost like the side hustle and I was living my job. So it was sort of like, guys, I know you need to shoot, but like I need to work. Like I have 6 clients coming here today. Like you got to get the fuck out of here, And, but I would say that by the last season, we really knew how to produce it very efficiently. And that was fun, But it ended right as I was about to have, like literally, I think 3 weeks or 4 weeks before I was about to have my second son.
Oh my God.
It was a lot.
That's a lot on film too.
It was just a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It was a lot.
Doing this show for the last decade, as I've continued to age, what I've also continued to do is feel better, get healthier. And that's because we learned so many amazing tips and tricks and tools and tactics on this show, talking to experts in all sorts of different fields. I feel like this has been a master's, a PhD in education in all different areas of life, because again, we get the source right from the experts. One of those things that we've changed, which has drastically changed the health of our lives and our families' lives, is changing the household cleaning supplies in our house to Branch Basics. After talking to their founders, we realized how many harmful chemicals, hormone disruptors, and fragrances are in most cleaning supplies. And what we realized is that most of those cleaning supplies are doing more harm than good. So when the founders of Branch Basics came on this show and offered a better solution, we were quick to dive in. For me, it makes no sense as a population where we continue to use harmful products when there are better, healthier alternatives that do a better job and actually provide the same function. Branch Basics Premium Starter Kit replaces dozens of toxic cleaners with just one powerful plant and mineral-based concentrate. There's no synthetic fragrances, no harsh chemicals, no hormone disruptors. It's just real effective cleaning that's safe for babies, pets, and the planet. You can use it to tackle everything from counters, bathrooms, laundry, washing your produce, with one simple fragrance-free formula that actually works. We made this change years ago, like I said, after interviewing the founders, and we have not looked back. So check it out. Stop using these harmful chemical, fragrance, hormone-disrupting cleaning supplies in your house and make a better choice. Visit branchbasics.com/skinny15 and use code skinny15 at checkout for 15% off, plus free shipping off your first purchase. That's branchbasics.com/skinny15 and use code skinny15 for 15% off, plus free shipping on your first order of your premium starter kit today. Quick break to talk about Nowadays. Founded in 2023, Nowadays was created to put a new spin on drinking. The brand was born from the desire to change the future of how we consume beverages, offering an easy entry point to cannabis that can be enjoyed just like alcohol. Nowadays is a cannabis-infused beverage brand designed to deliver a light, buzzy experience without the hangover. You can expect a gentle lift within the first 10 to 20 minutes, followed by a social buzz in 20 to 40 minutes, and smooth transition or subtle decline in your buzz by 45 to 60 minutes. So unlike alcohol, this doesn't have a long-lasting effect, but it can still give you a nice social buzz. Nowadays, cannabis-infused spirits are the perfect base for your favorite cocktail and come in bottles in 3 varieties: microdose, which is 2 milligrams, low dose, which is 5 milligrams, and high dose, which is 10 milligrams, all with a crisp and light citrus flavor. Additionally, Nowadays has also launched their THC canned cocktails, which are ready-to-drink beverages that come in 4 refreshing flavors: tropical, spicy lime, citrus, and berry. And what's nice is each can contains only 4 grams of sugar. So check them out if you're looking for a new spin on drinking. Nowadays has you covered for good nights and even better mornings. Nowadays is easy to purchase with direct-to-door delivery. You must be 21 to order at www.trynowadays.com. Again, that's trynowadays, NOWADAYS.com. trynowadays.com and use code SKINNY at checkout for 20% off your first purchase. trynowadays.com, use code SKINNY for 20% off your first order. trynowadays.com. Lauren and I are huge fans of feeding ourselves and our family quality meat, which is why we love working with Good Ranchers so much. Did you know that over 140,000 family farms in the U.S. have closed down since 2017? It's an absolute tragedy. Here's how Good Ranchers solves that problem. 100% American sourced. Every cut of beef, chicken, pork is born, raised, and harvested right here on local farms in the USA, so you can support American ranchers while knowing exactly where your meat comes from. This is so important, knowing where your meat is sourced from. It's also free from hidden additives. There's no antibiotics ever, no added hormones, no seed oils, just one simple ingredient you can read, and that's just meat. Meat gets so much bad publicity because of so many poor practices that happen in the meat industry. So once again, you're just getting quality meat delivered straight to your door. So no more last-minute grocery store runs, long lines, or wondering where you're getting the best quality. Good Ranchers has you covered. We love their wide selection of pre-portioned, high-quality meat. It means less time prepping and more time around the table with family, friends, hosting loved ones, whatever it may be. Good Ranchers has you covered. In addition, their seed oil-free chicken nuggets are back in stock. These are made with whole cuts of chicken, not the mystery meat you find elsewhere. And as part of their Spring into Action special, you can get them for free for a whole year. So you and your family can support local ranchers and easily get American quality delivered right to your door. Just subscribe to any of their boxes and get free bacon, ground beef, seed oil-free chicken nuggets, or salmon in every order for a year. Plus, you'll get $40 off when you use our code SKINNY at checkout. And seriously, this is the best offer Good Ranchers has ever given. You won't find it anywhere else. So check them out to spring into action, help American family farms. With every purchase, visit goodranchers.com today, and don't forget to use our code SKINNY to claim your free meat for a year and $40 off. Again, Good Ranchers, American meat delivered.
Do you know what I am wearing on my skin right now? I am wearing the caffeinated sunscreen by The Skinny Confidential. I created this sunscreen so it tightens the face with the caffeine and gives you a little tint, a natural tint. And I'm so excited because we are doing an anniversary sale. The sale is April 22nd to the 25th, and the sunscreen is obviously on sale. So the discount that we're doing is 30% off, which we barely ever do. And what's exciting about this is not only can you grab the sunscreen that I'm wearing that is absolutely amazing under makeup, it doesn't pile or anything. It just lays so nice and gives you like a tight glow. I apply mine with a beauty blender, but you can also get our tools. You can get the dry brush. You can get the body sculptor. That's my secret weapon for pregnancy cellulite. So here's the exciting thing. When you order a tool, you get a free, this is like, we've never done this, a free full-size depuffing oil. And this is the oil that I use for my fascia facial massage that you see me do on Instagram. So if I were to like tell you what to get, I would say definitely get the sunscreen because like I said, it's going to give you a really pretty glow under makeup. I wear it all the time though without makeup. And then if you're going to grab a tool, I would get the mint roller or the ice roller if you haven't tried it. And by far the body tool to grab is the dry brush that I have been using my entire pregnancy. You will notice a difference right away. It's one of those tools that you use and you immediately feel refreshed. So how I use the dry brush, if you want to know for the anniversary sale, 30% off, you got to grab it, is what I do is I do the dry brush on my entire body. I'll do it for 3 minutes and then I get in a freezing cold shower. And when I get out of the shower, I'll put body oil all over me, like a good Osea or a Pellicure body oil, even Agent Nature. And then I'll use the body sculptor to get in there to break up cellulite and just get my lymphatic system really activated. This is like my ride or die way that I shower in the morning because I have kids and I got to be quick and I want to feel refreshed and rejuvenated. So go shop the anniversary sale, get everything you can, get birthday presents. This is the time, 30% off automatic. You don't need a code. It's site-wide. And like I said, when you buy any tool, you get a free full-sized depuffing oil. Go to shopskinnyconfidential.com for 30% off, April 22nd through the 25th.
How do you think about running a team? Give me some tips.
Yeah, I would say, well, the two you've met have been with me 13 years and 10.
Get on the mic. Tell a story.
There are so many stories, but team. So team for me, I have always, my team, my innermost team is my family. Like sometimes even more so than my actual family, even though I'm so close with my family. But I don't look at them as, I don't think I've ever used the word employee. It's kind of weird. Because they are my family and have been through so much with me. I mean, there are things I could tell you that Mary has done with me that like, I don't even think it's really funny actually, but like, I can't really say it, but I would say to that I have learned the hard way that trust is everything. And I have also learned the hard way to not let everyone into your life. And I think in my styling life, it was incredibly challenging to not have my team be in my every move of my life because all I did was work. And so they were part of that. And so, but you realize that if you give people that you can't trust and you don't know that at the time, if you give them the keys to the kingdom and you teach them everything and you give them everything, that can backfire. And unfortunately that happened countless times and had a big reason to why it was a big part of why I had to pause from styling. I had to take a beat. I had to gain sort of control and trust and start to sort of get back to, sort of loving people around me again.
What did you do when you took a beat?
I started more businesses. Okay. I launched my clothing line. I wrote another book. I launched a million different licensing partnerships, endorsements, all the things, podcasts.
What's your focus today?
My podcast, doing Climbing in Heels. I have about 17 different licenses that I, creative direct, oversee, manage, whatever. different endorsement deals that I'm a part of, and working on, exciting things that are coming out.
You're working on your business, not in it.
I'm working on my business.
Smart.
And in it, and kind of both, and I think that's sort of the challenge when it's your name, right, on the door. You can't just nope, I'm not going to be involved in this. But I do also have Rachel Zoe Ventures, which, I'm an advisor and investor in multiple companies.
You're busy.
I'm busy. I can't not be busy. I got to use my brain. I can't, but I also, I love being a mom.
Maybe you should try cold plunging.
What is that going to do besides scare the hell out of me? It's going to shock me. It's like that
feels good.
Putting your toe in the Pacific Ocean and it's 40 degrees. It's so cold. Why? I hate being cold.
That's why people ask, they say, hey, do you miss the beach when you moved? And I said, no, because Pacific Ocean's not that great to swim in.
Go in the ocean?
I love the ocean. It's grounding.
Yeah,
what?
But it's not.
Yeah, it's grounding.
How often were you in the ocean when we were here?
There are so many things in that ocean that you have never seen before.
I know.
It is the unknown.
It
is the unknown. That's all I'm going to say to you. I don't do ocean. I look at it. I love to look at it.
I have to say, you're great on a mic. You are.
You.
It's not always like that.
Really?
No.
Really?
No.
Are you eating candy as you're saying you're great on a mic? After on episode 800, you're eating a candy?
I know, everyone gets mad
Here
at
comes
me.
8 more bad
Mary
reviews.
won't let me chew gum when I'm on a mic. It's really annoying.
Well, why can't I just be myself?
You can. It's just...
You do you.
I know. You're really good on a mic. You haven't had people on your podcast where you're like...
One or two, because
Okay.
most of the people that I've had on are so seasoned. They're so at top of their game that it's not their first rodeo,
We've had both, but you're great on a mic.
Thank you.
Where can everyone find you, what you're working on? Your Instagram, I'm sure they already follow you. Your podcast, all the things.
All the things. At Rachel Zoe is my Instagram, and at Climbing in Heels Pod is the pod.
Honestly, you can come back anytime. I could have asked you a lot more questions. You're welcome. Back anytime.
I love being with you guys. I've heard so much about you, and I'm excited to actually hang out with you.
And he wore Tom Ford for you.
It doesn't go unnoticed or unappreciated.
Thank you.
So thank you for wearing it.
That's all I needed. It's just now
Keep
I can
doing
get through.
Tom Ford.
My week can sail through the rest of the week.
I think if money's not an object, every man should be in head to toe Tom Ford.
Oh my God, he's good.
Yes, it does.
I don't know about that, really.
I would tell you that I had 50 of them, but my 13-year-old son has literally taken every Tom Ford cologne that I have, perfume and cologne.
Rachel, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. It was
Thank
so
you,
much
Rachel.
fun.